Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Josh Sanch, welcome back to the morning of prejudging for the 2023 Flex Pro weekend, another installment of Bodybuilding Daily, where we talk about all things hot topic and trending in the world of bodybuilding. We have moments before, and we actually have backstage access here, courtesy of one of the competitors, of some backstage photos and videos. So stay tuned for that at the very end. You get to see an inside look at Regan Grimes and Nathan Asha, specifically some diet face coming into this show. We have Regan Grimes sharing some photos 3 hours before getting on stage for prejudging. So just about 2.5 hours ago, as the men's, I'm watching right now, the men's physique just ended. The MC's up. Prejudging's about to start any minute now. I am ecstatic. It's going to be a good show, ladies and gentlemen. We do have the Legion coming right after this, so stay tuned for that. Lots of good content coming out in the near future. Now, actually, it looks like the women's figures coming out, so no big deal, no rush. Regan Grimes, it's more cooked photos, it's more really heavily edited photos. I'm wondering how this is going to translate onto the stage, but I will say, we can critique the excessive Instagram bodybuilding isms, right? Instagram bodybuilding isms, but when you look at those posing trunks, follow the separation in those quads. That's some deep cuts and feathering, striation, separation, all the way down into the knees. The calves look shredded. I mean, this has to be the biggest and most conditioned version of Regan we've seen. We've seen him. We were looking at the Legion photos, right, in the last video, and he was more conditioned, yes, but not as big. So I'm really wondering, again, I'm super excited to see how this translates to on stage. He's probably going to put another base layer, or he probably has a base layer of tan on right now, right? But he's probably going to get at least another layer of tan to come into the show. He's going to put that shiner on, the bronzer, maybe some hot stuff from Pro Tan. I don't know. I got my tanning stuff back there. I need to, once they start paying me, I'll put it up here with the other stuff. But he's going to look good, guys. I'm super stoked. We have like I said, we have some really cool exclusive backstage content at the very end, so stay tuned for that. And then next up we have Nathan Asha. I believe this is his hotel room. It looks kind of like a lobby almost, but I'm assuming it's a room, right? It's someone's room. And we have a couple photos from other videos from other people recording on the side, and then we have almost a full routine for him coming into prejudging. This was the night of. Last night, right? This is the night before prejudging for the Flex Weekend Pro Italy. And he looks good. I'd say the video quality does not give him justice. Watching the stream currently, it's not 4K, but it's probably like 1080p. The back screens are all LED, so it's going to distort the quality, unfortunately. I don't know why in 2023 promoters don't understand that you can have all your sponsorships and crap like that on the sides. But the back one, the main backdrop, needs to be a solid canvas or cloth, or I don't care if you pay someone to paint it with acrylics or oil. I don't care. Or paper mache. You can do paper mache. I don't care. But not screens. Screens, it distorts the photos, it distorts the video, it makes it look like poo-poo. So I wish that promoters would stop doing this. I know Bob Ciccarello says that he likes the screens, and you shouldn't be blaming the promoters for spending so much money on blah 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 blah. Anyways, old Bobby boy. No, completely wrong, completely disagree. Just one nice black backdrop. Look at the Olympia. I think it was 2 years ago. The where C-Bum, I think he won his second one. Look at the backdrop on that. Solid black with just a classic looking Olympia symbol. Best photos in the Olympia we've seen probably in a decade. You'd think people would learn from, the Olympia, but I guess that's not the standard anymore. Anywho, before we get into that footage real quick, Blessing Awodibu sharing some photos as well. I'd say even less quality than the ones we saw before. Not a lot going on here. Hamstring drop from the side looks great. Lots of conditioning in the hamstrings. That's not his critique. His critique is the back hamstrings. upper body looks phenomenal. I mean, this guy's got everything he needs to win shows minus the back hamstrings. And unfortunately, it's one of those conversations like if you've got poo on your face, if you've got pie on your face, it's kind of hard not to talk about the pie, or maybe you got like a booger hanging out your nose. You're going to want to talk about the booger. It's like, hey man, your mascara looks great, but you got a little dingle dangle hanging there. You want to get that real quick? That's kind of my thoughts on Blessing. It's really hard to look at his physique as a whole when the hamstrings are like, oh, okay. But from the front, he wins shows. Next up, we have just real quick physique updates from Ali. I was able to find his Instagram. Looks good. Someone said it's his pro debut. He could be a conversation. He could be a top 10 guy. This lineup is so deep and so stacked that, I mean, even some very seasoned veterans are going to have some issues lining up and getting into this show. And last but certainly not least, here's the little backstage footage. Pretty cool stuff. I typically don't see this very often, but I was just scrolling and I came upon it, so I was really happy. This is your first competitor that you're going to see, Mr. Khalid Al-Kazim. He looks phenomenal, very conditioned. Stay tuned for more coverage, ladies and gentlemen. Prejudging will be starting shortly. I'm your host, Josh Sanch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.